Hello students, I welcome you to this session of refrigeration and air conditioning. In this lecture I will discuss the transmission of air through duct. Okay, so duct you must have seen in number of places, maybe malls, hospitals and other such places, okay, cinemas etc. Right, hospitals, okay. So all these places you will find the duct is used for transmission of the air, okay, and you will see that they are a hollow structure and they are generally made up of the galvanized iron sheet or maybe aluminium, right. So in a duct, right, the most important parameter is the aspect ratio, okay. So if I am talking about the rectangular duct, say, right, then aspect ratio of the duct is defined as the ratio of the larger side of the duct to the smaller side of the duct, okay, and this value of the aspect ratio should be closer to 1, okay, and in no case this value should be greater than 4, okay, because if this value of aspect ratio is greater than 4, then there will be number of losses, okay, when the air flows through the duct, okay. So the aspect ratio greater than 4 is highly undesirable in case of the rectangular ducts, okay. Now regarding the shape of this duct, you must have seen that at some places these ducts are circular in shape and sometimes the shape is that of the rectangular kind of in nature, okay, but the rectangular duct occupies the less space, okay, as compared to that of the circular duct, and that's why the rectangular ducts are more preferable as compared to that of the circular duct, right. Now in number of cases, right, we have to determine the dimensions of the rectangular duct, right. If a circular duct is there, right, for example, in any case, let us say a circular duct of diameter capital D is fixed over there, right, and we want to substitute it with the rectangular duct, right, then we need to determine the dimensions, that is the larger length A and the smaller length B of the duct, right. So in that case the diameter conversion is called as the equivalent diameter of a rectangular circular duct for a rectangular duct, okay. It means that we are determining the equivalent diameter of a rectangular duct using that of a circular duct, okay. We are determining the dimensions A and B of the rectangular duct, okay, using a circular duct. Now in this case the two cases are possible, okay, when the quantity of the air flowing through both the rectangular duct and the circular duct are same, okay. So when the quantity of the air, that means the flow rate, okay, in meter cube per second, if this is same through both the rectangular duct and the circular duct, okay, then we can determine the dimensions A and B of a rectangular duct using the formula D equal to 1.265 A cube B cube by A plus B, where D is the diameter of the circular duct and A and B, as you can see, are the larger and the smaller length respectively of the rectangular duct, right. And the second case arrives when we have the velocity of the air flowing through both the circular duct and the rectangular duct are same, okay. So in that case we can determine the dimensions A and B of a rectangular duct using the diameter D of a circular duct by this formula D equal to 2AB divided by A plus B, right. So in your textbook some derivation part is there, okay, you can look, you can refer to that and you will see that finally these two expressions are derived from that, okay. In the exams also you will find that the numerical will come based on these two formulas, okay, and you have to determine the dimensions of the rectangular duct, okay, using both two cases, right? Now ducts, as you know, are classified based on the number of parameters, okay. One of them is the shape, okay. First, we have understood that if the shape of the duct is rectangular in nature, we call the duct as rectangular duct, or if the shape is circular, we call the duct as the circular duct, okay. Now the other methods on the basis of which we can classify the ducts are, first one we have the according to the pressure of air, okay. Now in the ducts, the pressure is generally measured in terms of heads of water, okay, head of water, and head of water is specified in terms of mm, okay. So we usually deal with mm of water when we classify the duct into low pressure category, medium pressure category, or high pressure category, right? So if the pressure is less than the 50 mm, okay, and pressure I am talking about the static pressure, right, of the air that is moving inside the duct, right? So if this value is less than 50 mm, okay, of water, right, then the duct is called as the low pressure duct, right? And if this value varies between 150 mm to 250 mm of water, right, then the type of duct is known as the medium pressure duct. And for a high pressure duct, the value of static pressure lies between 150 mm to 250 mm of water, right? So this is how we can classify the duct on the basis of pressure of air, that is the static pressure. I am repeating it again, right? Now second is the average velocity of the air which is moving inside the duct, right? Whether the velocity of air, if it is less than 10 meter per second, right, then the duct are classified as the low velocity kind of the duct, right? And if the velocity of the air is greater than the 10 meter per second, right, then we call the type of duct as the high velocity duct, right? And now finally the last category on the basis of which we can classify the duct is the type of air that is for which the ducts are used, okay. So if the duct are used for carrying the fresh air, okay, then the type of duct is called as the fresh air duct, right? And if the type of if the duct is utilized for supplying the air from the air conditioning plant to the space or to the room, then that type of duct is called as the supply air duct, okay. And you are already aware that the inside a room the air picks up the heat from the occupants, okay. Then this air is returned to the again to the air conditioning plant, okay. So the duct carrying the return air from the room again back to the air conditioning plant is called as the return air duct, right? So these are the some key important points as far as the transmission of air through duct is concerned, right? Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you. Thank you for this lecture.